talk about the Wampanoag tribe here in Martha's Vineyard. Actually, the Wampanoag tribe has been settled here for over 10,000 years. And it's been mainly in the lands of Quina, Gay Head, and all over the island of Martha's Vineyard. So today we have my dear friend, James Hackinson, who's going to talk about his tribe, his traditions, his culture. He belongs to the Wampanoags. So here we have him. Tell me a little bit about your ancestors, the first Wampanoags here in the vineyard.
Well, the Wampanoag have, in general, actually been in this area for since about the last ice age. And at that time, as you can see, this place looked completely different. The island itself was, created by a glacier. And the last glaciers, of course, left from this area about close to 15,000 years ago.
Wow, yeah, that's a long time.
At that time, after the glacier retreated, this area left with, all sorts of, places to go and fish. This place is very prevalent with lots of nuts and berries.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But as well as the landscape of this area looked completely different as well. So what we would have been doing was, making homes, two different style of houses, homes for the winter and of course homes for the summer.
Oh, okay.
The summer homes themselves were actually located morely on the coast.
Yeah.
Because that's actually where we did a lot of planting, a lot of crops, So you would have seen all sorts of beans, squash, melons, pumpkins, sunflowers. Those things actually would have been grown traditionally in a garden that was anywhere from around 3 acres.
Wow. Okay.
And the cattail house, the summer home itself was actually made out of, mats. And those type of mats were actually made out of cattail reeds, because spring through fall months when it rains, it's actually designed to block the rain out.
Okay.
Because when it rains, those reeds actually absorb all that moisture, so they swell up with water. Then all the rest of the water that falls onto the home will just basically, run right off the house.
Yeah.
It's almost like a screen.
Wow, interesting. Good.
But also, that's during the summer times, not only while you grew your crops, but as well as those things that would have grown wildly around here. So, all sorts of nuts, berries, roots, shoots, all sorts of like regular, shellfish, fish. There was also lots of sturgeon, a lot of shark, even whale that was being hunted by native people.
Whales. Interesting.
But summer life, opposed to winter, was actually a little bit different.
Yeah.
So before that, winter itself was actually a lot different here, because the winters in the time period actually would have gotten a lot, would have been a little bit more harsher than they are now. Nowadays we have what's called global warming.
Yeah.
But they say that back in the 1600s, that the winter style homes that we made, that we still today make where I work at the plantation, they're constructed out of a cedar frame, but they're also covered with sheets of bark. In the 1600s, the homes that you could have made were, people nowadays call them longhouses, but they're not really called longhouses. The name of our houses are called witu, but the name of your home would actually change depending on how many fires are within the home. So, the biggest house that we have down on the Wampanoag site at the plantation is a nashwitu, and that's just a 3-fire home. It'd be a home for around 12 people, where 3 generations of your family would live.
Wow, that's a big house.
Well, not really.
Well, 12 people, come on, it is kind of big.
Actually, the longest home that was ever recorded in this area was around 300 feet long. It was about 60 feet in width.
Wow, well that is really big.
Yeah. So within that home, there was easily areas that you could have recreation,
Yeah.
singing, dancing, but as well as that, there was even areas where you could have, like, per se, pulled curtains across. You could even separated your family off from other people. You had your own personal privacy.
Wow.
But wintertime was a little bit harsher, so we had more clothing for this one as well. So I mean, you see right now I'm actually wearing a mantle.
Yeah.
It's just like basically a top that Native people wore in the cooler months, or when it's just cold out in general.
Yeah.
Wintertime, this actually could have had fur on the inside of it lining it, but as well as you would have seen like sleeves that you easily could have pulled on your arm, and those sleeves actually would have fur oftentimes on the inside of it.
Yeah.
As well as if I had my leggings on and my moccasins and those as well would actually have fur on the inside of them, insulated.
So, and the fur from what animal came?
Around, there was a lot of deer, there was a lot of elk, moose, black bear, beaver, otter, seals, raccoons. The Native people actually hunted every animal that was not a true carnivore, meaning like foxes, wolves, lynxes. Just because we didn't hunt them, we didn't eat them. True carnivores, if you actually consume them, are more likely to get you sick. Because they feed off the animals that are kind of like animals that are sick, and some that are even dying. So.
I didn't know that.
But if you ever did see someone wearing, like carnivorous animal skins, it's probably just because they got caught and trapped that would have been sick. So for winter, you basically could have worn any type of furs.